How's it going, friends? Right now I'm in a new build community here in Castle Pines, Colorado. There are homes over there, haven't been built yet. These obviously are built and fully lived in. Just up the street that way, there's still some that are mid being built. There's empty lots over there. This kind of thing is really happening a lot here in Castle Pines. There's a lot of really good stuff going for it. I'm excited to show you around. Let's do it. Castle Pines, Colorado. You're gonna wanna see this one. How's it going, y'all? My name is Jesse Lynch. I run the hardest working real estate team anywhere in the game. We are called Welcome to Denver. Go ahead and check out our website, welcometodenver.co. But this YouTube channel is all about helping you find a place to call home here in beautiful, beautiful Denver, Colorado. In this case, Castle Pines, Colorado. And that's whether you are buying a house for the first time or you're relocating, moving here from across the country, across the state, across the globe, whatever it is, that is what we do better than anybody else. So if either of those things appeal to you, do yourself a favor, subscribe to this channel, click the bell to get notified, give the video a thumbs up and say what's up in the comments. I would appreciate it very, very much. And while you're at it, while you're thinking about it, if you're considering making a move here, considering buying a house here, get a hold of us however you can. Go to our website, welcometodenver.co. You can email us at info@welcometodenver.co. You can check us out on Instagram at welcometodenver.co, or you can call or text the number on the screen. They all lead to me, and I look forward to getting you set up and just doing our absolute best work for you. Can't wait. But today's video is a virtual tour, a video sort of immersion of Castle Pines, Colorado. I don't know if you noticed this. These are bison behind me. Bison, the great American bison. They are behind a fence, in fairness. I'm not sure if it's a farm or if it's a preservation of some sort. There's also prairie dogs out there. And I'm gonna pop over here for another part of this video. It's called Daniel's Park. It's an overlook. It is really, really beautiful. I'm excited to show you over there. This is called Bison Prairie Overlook. And there's a lot of these houses back here. Right over there are homes within Castle Pines. Castle Pines is a very nice spot. I'm very excited to show you. This is special request. I got an email. Morgan is considering moving either here or Boulder. So we already have a Boulder virtual tour. Check it out if you haven't yet. And now I'm gonna do Castle Pines. If you have any other requests, let me know. I am very happy to sort of do a dive into these neighborhoods, show you what the vibe is like, and learn whatever I can about it and sort of teach that to you, but really show it to you. These videos are all about immersion, showing you what it's like to be here. All right, no more jabbering. Let's just get into this one. Castle Pines, Colorado. Let's go. All right, friends, right now I'm just in a neighborhood that I think is a pretty good example of a lot of what is going on here in Castle Pines, which is largely new build neighborhoods. So Castle Pines is a relatively new area. It was officially voted in as a city in 2007, and the name was officially changed to Castle Pines in 2010. The population is right around 11,000 people, so it's not huge, and it's growing at a rate of 2% annually. A lot of new builds. I feel like all of the growth here is basically single family homes that all have to be built from the ground up because it is so new. And if I say Castle Rock, I apologize. I've just been reading that a bunch lately because the borders of Castle Pines. To the north is Lone Tree and Highlands Ranch. To the east and sort of the south is Castle Rock. That's why it's in my brain. Canyon, so apologies. And then to the west is Daniels Park, where I just was earlier. So basically, Daniels Park is fundamentally most of the western sort of border of Castle Pines. Again, it's so bright. Okay, sorry, not trying to be a cool guy, just trying to be able to see at all. Castle Pines is a very, very high rated place according to niche.com and a lot of other sources, but on niche.com, it basically gets an A+ overall. It is voted the 4th best place to raise a family in Colorado, the 8th best suburb to buy a home in the Denver area, and the 9th best place to live in all of Colorado according to niche.com. Schools, very good schools here, specifically A-rated schools throughout the whole area, and you get number 2 second best school district for athletes in all of Colorado. You get 4th best school district in the Denver area, and specifically the high school is the 5th best rated high school, public high school in all of Colorado. It gets an A+, top grades. The middle school here gets a B+, that's Rocky Heights Middle School, and then the elementary schools both get an A-. So schools in general, all very, very good, and some of the best depending on the grade. I think as this area goes on, as it grows more and more, I feel like that middle school is just going to get bumped up as the demand gets higher and higher. The schools here, I think it's going to be a wise investment. And if you don't care about schools because you don't have kids or whatever, and this is something to consider all the time, is that schools help when it comes to resale. Your home is going to be more valuable in the long term as schools are good, because school is a huge driving factor in what brings people to certain areas. So maybe you move here, you live here for 5 years, you want to sell the house. A good school is going to make that way, way easier because people are going to be chomping at the bit to be here. The housing stock here, not super diverse. It is a lot of new builds and generally quite expensive. The median list price right now is $800K, which isn't that bad for all the things it has to offer. But basically the bottom end of the range right now is 600,000. And you can get up to 5 million pretty quickly, pretty easily here, as there are some pretty magnificent homes here in Castle Pines. One thing to note is there are so many gated communities. So there are some communities that are like really, really desirable. I can't even show you those because I can't get into them right now, or I'd probably get arrested. 89% of the people living here in Castle Pines own their home, only 11% rent. That number is very high. And as I look around, I'm like, well, there's pretty much apartments, maybe some townhomes that I would imagine are rented. I can't imagine much of these single family homes are rented. The average household income here is just over 200,000, which is generally very good, especially on the national average. That is very high. The poverty rate here, extremely low. It's like 1.7%. Crime, very, very low here as well. Castle Pines has a lot going for it. I'm excited to show you around a little bit more. Say we go for a ride, huh? All right, friends, right now I'm at Daniels Park Overlook. Earlier in the video, I was right over there, but we're talking pros and cons of living here in Castle Pines, Colorado. The first one, it's pretty obvious, I think. It's this stuff. It's the views, the nature, the natural space, the vastness, the openness. This is what it's all about. I don't know if you can see this, but back here, there's a golf course. That might be one of the most beautifully set golf courses I've ever seen. Now, I'm not a golfer. I don't really know anything about golf, but I do know that that is beautiful, and that is just chef's kiss as far as location of a golf course. All right, next pro, great schools. Some of the absolute best schools in all of Colorado. It's really hard to go wrong. They are top 5 schools throughout the whole state, and really some of the best, some of the most premier schools. It seems to me that people are coming to Castle Pines just for those schools, and then there are some other really good benefits, obviously, that come along with it, like that behind me. And then also very quiet, very low crime, statistically low crime area, relatively safe as far as that goes. I always think that's a loaded question. Safe, my safe is probably different than your safe, but statistically speaking, it is safe. It's also very quiet. The neighborhoods are very neighborhoody. They're built, they're designed as neighborhoods. They're designed to just be houses and houses and houses, walkable little neighborhoods as far as like going for a walk. You'll see kids riding bikes around the neighborhood and, you know, playing street hockey in the cul-de-sac and that kind of thing. And I personally really appreciate that. The idea that sort of a kid can be a kid here. It's not wild. A lot of the areas are gated. So some people are going to feel either way about the gated community thing. Is that a pro or is it a con? I think it totally depends on who you are and how you feel about that. On the one side, safe, right? It's going to be super safe neighborhood. You got to go through a gate. You got to talk to a guard before you get into the neighborhood. It's going to be very, very safe. On the other hand, kids growing up in a gated community, and some people just aren't into that. I've helped enough people to know that some people are opposed to that idea. They don't want to sort of, you know, some people don't see that as being a normal childhood, and they want somewhat of a humbler home life for their kids. So I get it. So that's neither a pro nor a con. But last pro I'm gonna say is that there are some of the most impressive homes I've seen in all of Colorado are here. I don't know that they're necessarily my taste, which actually, you know what, that brings me to my first con, is that it's somewhat cookie cutter out here. Unless you're going into the absurd $5 million stuff, those houses are impressive, insane, very, very, very cool. But in the sort of lower price range, right, where the median price range is right around 800K. Another con, it's pricey, but the median price is right around 800K. And for 800K, you're getting a very nice house, don't get me wrong, beautiful house, but it's a little bit cookie cutter. It's gonna be similar to the neighborhoods around it or the neighbors around it. And there's just a ton of cul-de-sacs. That's another thing. I feel like the neighborhoods are designed that way. Part of it's the geography, right? That a lot of Castle Pine is sort of on hilly areas. So there's a lot of cul-de-sacs and that kind of thing. But I'm gonna sort of combine those two cons. It's relatively cookie cutter and they're expensive, right? So the combination of those two things, it's not gonna be the end of the world. Again, most people here, I'm moving here for the pros, and those cons aren't going to be that big of a deal to them. And sort of expanding on the cookie cutterness of it, the sort of suburbanness of it, there is not a ton going on here as far as cultural, as far as cool restaurants or shops or anything like that. That is not what it's about here. It's about neighborhoods and nature and good schools and the sort of the culture. You basically have to leave Castle Pines to get any of that. You're probably going to be going into Denver. You might be able to go to Colorado Springs. Even some of the suburban conveniences, you have to leave Castle Pines for. Actually, a pretty good amount of them. You have to leave Castle Pines to get to, I think, even a Target. I don't think there's a Target here in Castle Pines. So it's starting to feel a little bit rural out here, which I'm going to say is the next con, is that you're removed from a lot of the rest of the metro. Technically, it is in the Denver metro area, but it is fairly removed. Again, like I said, removed from those suburban conveniences, but also with no traffic at all. It's about 30 minutes from downtown Denver. That can get up there. If there's a good amount of traffic, that could get up there quite a ways. The bright side is, for a while, you're not hitting any traffic when you're driving on the way to Denver for like at least the first 10 minutes, because again, it's pretty rural. But all right, some of you out there who are watching this who are like, none of those cons are actually cons. That's exactly what I want out of a neighborhood. More power to you. Then I think you're really gonna like it here. If you want to be more in the hustle and bustle, this probably is not the spot. If you want a super cool, unique, old, 100-year-old home, again, probably not the spot. But again, that's probably not why you're moving here in the first place. So either you can put this on your list or check it off your list. It is bright, very sunny. It's also getting a little bit toasty. All right, let's go for a ride, huh? All right, right, y'all. Right now I'm in one of the very, very limited commercial areas within Castle Pines. That back there is Trestles. It's like a seafood spot, I guess. Right here is Danielle's Scratch Kitchen. Highly regarded as one of the better places for dinner. Awesome sort of patio. And right over here is MIYO, or Make It Your Own. I've never actually been there, but looks legit. Looks like a good spot to grab lunch because Danielle's isn't open. Okay, if I had to summarize Castle Pines in 3 sort of bullet points, it would be great views and cool natural space like you saw earlier. It would be top-rated schools, truly outstanding schools. And then the last would be beautiful newer homes, or pretty much all newer homes in quiet neighborhoods and possibly a gated community. And if you watch these videos, you might know that I have a section that I call my For Fans Of section, which is basically to say, if you're into what you see here, maybe check out these other areas. So for me, if you like what you see out of this video of Castle Pines, I'm gonna say the first place you should check out is Cherry Hills Village. And the next place is going to be Greenwood Village. I have a video on Greenwood Village, not yet of Cherry Hills Village, but I will. Again, great schools, nice communities. Those are maybe a little bit older, a little bit almost more farmy, like there's sort of equestrian areas over there, and probably even a little bit more as far as like shopping goes, right? There's a little more conveniences, a little closer, and maybe a little bit less golf coursey, or actually maybe a little more country clubby. That's probably a better way of describing it. The next spot I'm gonna say is Centennial. Centennial is just north of here by maybe 10 minutes or something like that. If you're looking for a more like classic suburb with all of the sort of suburban amenities and you want to be really nearby it, maybe a little bit cheaper, Centennial is a great spot to check out. Again, no video on that yet, but if you're watching this in a few months after this got posted, I'm sure I will. That is coming up next on my list of places to check out. And then the next spot is going to be Cherry Creek, not Cherry Hills Village, Cherry Creek. That is a neighborhood within Denver. If you're looking for sort of the high-end luxury lifestyle of Castle Pines, Cherry Creek is probably going to be the best example of that if you want to be in Denver proper. And then last one I'm going to say is Boulder. I literally am making this video per special request of somebody who is comparing this to Boulder. So clearly, if you're looking for great schools and awesome outdoor space, Boulder has that absolutely nailed as well. I would say Boulder has more conveniences within Boulder. You know, more grocery stores, more restaurants, a little more culture going on in Boulder, but it's more expensive. It's a little bit further away. Boulder's a little closer to the mountains, a little more liberal, and this is maybe a little bit more rural and a little bit more conservative. So take that as you will. And as always, if you're thinking about moving here to beautiful, beautiful Denver, Colorado, or Castle Pines, perhaps, do whatever you can to get a hold of us. We will absolutely crush it for you. We will prove our worth, and you can get a hold of us however you can. Email us, info@welcometodenver.co. Go to our website, welcometodenver.co. Check us out on Instagram at welcometodenver.co, or call or text the number on the screen. I'd appreciate it very, very much, and promise again, we'll crush it for you. All right, we did it. This video is a wrap. Hope you enjoyed, hope it was helpful. Looking forward to seeing you, looking forward to helping you out, looking forward to hanging out here in Denver, Colorado. All right, take it easy, y'all. Bye-bye.